Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Global Renaissance Podcast, where we have thoughtful conversations on society and self. As always, I'm your host, Trev Woods. I'm joined by my boy Julian today. How
What's
you
good?
living?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm good. It's been a minute.
Yes, sir. It's been 3 years. 3 years and like a month to be exact. Something like that. Actually, it might be 3 years on the dot, which is crazy.
Crazy.
Shout out to the WeWork.
Shout out to WeWorks. We was thugging it,
Shout
bro.
out to
We was
Chendo's camera,
thugging
bro.
it.
Just a ghetto
yo.
operation, but shout out to the growth.
Yo,
Shout
no,
out to the
facts.
growth.
This is crazy. This is crazy,
For
bro.
sure.
Like, we got lighting,
Yes,
multiple
sir.
cameras,
Know the vibes.
mic set up.
Know the
We're not
vibes.
sharing a camera.
Yo, that shit was mad ghetto, bro. Oh my goodness. Had this low ass like USB mic in like the middle. I don't even think it was
Nah,
picking up
facts.
anything.
I don't think it was either.
Oh my god. Shout out. But you know
Tripod
what?
that didn't really work. But
Oh my god.
that was the
fucking
vision,
ring
though.
light.
That was the
Wasn't
vision,
even my
though.
ring light.
It wasn't.
It wasn't my ring light, bro.
It was using the fucking hallway lights, bro.
Yo, what a time. What a time. What a time. What a time. Hey man, you gotta start somewhere. Gotta start
Facts.
somewhere.
We was in that spot, very fraudulent. Was not paying no monthly
At
fee.
all.
They kept letting us in.
At all. I don't know.
Shout out WeWorks though.
Shout out, man.
Shout out
And then they
WeWorks.
went bankrupt. It was low key our fault.
Yeah, probably.
They needed our monthly fees.
Probably.
So today we're gonna talk some music today. Musical hot takes, musical opinions. So where I want to start with is what have we been listening to as of late. So what's been, we put up the Apple Music replays. You
Yeah.
could do that, during the year, not just at the end. So I wish they gave you like a year to date situation.
Nah,
but
facts. Apple, get your shit together.
Facts.
Let me see. Off the top of my head, I know for sure the Puerto Rican drill scene has been popping this year. So that's where a lot of my minutes have been.
Ain't nobody ever put me on to no Puerto Rican drill.
Do you want to get put on?
I do.
I can put you on. It's nutty. I'm not gonna lie.
I do. There was like, I used to get my hair cut at this Dominican barbershop, and so they was always playing like, Hispanic tunes and whatnot. And there was this one song, I forget who it was by exactly, but it was called like Caro, Nati, Becky. You know what I'm saying? And it was like kind of like a Spanish drill type of vibe. I was like, hold on, this shit go hard. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not too familiar, but I would like to be.
I'm gonna put you on right now. There's a lot of it's crazy because it's honestly very similar to like the actual drill scene in the U.S. because all the rappers are from the same like we call them like residential towers, like projects. It's called Luis Jordan Torres, and literally like all the main rappers right now are all from that one hood. So it's crazy. It's a lot of cool stuff going on right now on the island. But yeah. So for at least last month, it was Bad Bunny, June,
As always.
Bad Bunny, May, Bad Bunny.
As always.
April is this guy named Isaac, but he just had he's like a one hit wonder, in like reggaeton. March was Young Chimmy, who's like the main drill artist right now in PR. February was Kanye, shout out to you. And January was Bad Bunny.
All right, so what is that? 4 out of 8 months, or 5 out of 8 months?
I think 5 out of 8. Yeah, 5. That's disgusting.
That's actually
Yeah.
That's funny as fuck.
It never dropped below 350 minutes.
Yeah.
For Bad. In May alone, I had 855 minutes of Bad Bunny. I was heartbroken or some shit, bro. That's bad. That's bad.
855 is crazy. All right, my top for July was Kanye.
Checks out.
June was BJ the Chicago Kid.
Checks out.
May was Gunna.
Makes sense.
That's when he dropped his album.
Yeah. My top song is Gunna.
Yeah.
Or my top 2 songs are by Gunna in May.
April, BJ the Chicago Kid, but my top song and top album are Sir, because he dropped in March. March was Kanye.
Which album though?
My top artist was Kanye, which means it was probably just like he's playlisted a bunch.
Yeah.
Because my top album was Sir again, and then
February.
February was Kanye.
Me too though, so it's okay.
January was BJ the Chicago Kid. So
That's crazy.
January I listened to 13,000 minutes.
January I had 7,700, so you beat me on that one.
Yeah, February was 12,000.
Oh my god. Yeah.
March was 10,000.
Yeah.
April was 10,000.
It's disgusting.
May was 11,000. June was 5,000. It was almost 6,000. And July was almost 6,000. It was like 5,800. So I dropped off crazy in June and July, but the first 5 months of the year.
I thought my numbers were crazy. It's like 7,500 each month, and then July dropped down because I got a new job. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I just listened to a lot of music. Like, literally, like off the wake up, just turn the speaker.
Yeah, I get that. I feel that. I used to commute to work That shit was like an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back. So I used to do all of my music like on the train.
Yeah.
But I live in Boston now, so I don't
So
gotta
it's
do
not
that.
that far.
There's no
Yeah.
commute no more.
I understand. So since both of us had Kanye in like our top artists, I want to talk about Kanye for a second because, like you said, the last thing you said the last time you were on the podcast was listen to College Dropout.
Yeah.
Kanye has now dropped 2 albums this year.
Yeah. Vultures 1 and 2, right?
Right.
Haven't listened to the second. I'm not gonna lie.
I listened to the second one once. I said, okay, I'm good. So at what point does like what he's doing now start to affect his discography if we're talking like about his legacy as a whole, or does it not even matter? It's just like your prime is your prime.
I think in the grand scheme of things it's not gonna matter. I think recency bias is like a big thing. So I feel like right now we're gonna be like, yo, he's going crazy, he's washed, But it's like there's many artists that have more than honestly even 3 albums, and we can typically only name 3 or 4 albums.
True.
Right? Like people aren't sitting here naming every Jay-Z album. They're not. Like they're
How
gonna
many albums did he have? 14?
too many.
I think it's 14.
Too many. And it's like
He has some real duds in there.
and it's like it is what it is. Like I feel like in the grand scheme of things, it's gonna all the bullshit's gonna wash away, and like the music that hit is gonna hit. And it's like and in all honesty, there's a lot of projects that he did have that are aging beautifully now because when the Life of Pablo came out, people were not fucking with
Which
it.
is well. Yes and no, because
People were not fucking with it.
I want to know how many sales it did, because I remember when it came out, like, yeah, people was like, "Yo, I missed the old Kanye," but like, it was also like Ultra Light, Beam and like Father Stretch My Hands Part 1 were like 2 of the biggest songs of the year.
Yeah, and those 2 songs, and there's a lot of songs on that album, like No More Parties in LA.
That's a great song.
Crazy song, like an amazing, just perfectly written song.
And shout out to Madlib for the beat.
Not facts.
First,
and then those like little like seven song projects that he was doing, like Kid City Ghost is one of my favorite albums.
I do not like that album,
bro.
I don't like Kid
You're
Cudi like
bugging,
that.
bro. You're bugging.
Like
You just gotta listen to it. You don't see, bro.
Pablo did 2,000 first week, or 200,000 first week. So I guess by comparison, Yeezus only did 94.
Yeezus only did 94.
That makes sense though. Niggas were not fucking with Yeezus.
Yeah.
Yeezus.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's true.
His first week, College Dropout.
Yeezus is a weird album.
860. Late registration was almost a mil first.
There was no streaming. That was pure actual,
sales.
like pure sales.
Late registration did 957,000 first week. Graduation was 450,000. 808s was 496. Dark Twisted was 436. Watch the Throne was 327.
Yeah, bro, I'm sorry. Drake gotta sit down, bro. He's not doing those numbers. If Drake was in that era, he's not doing those numbers. I'm sorry. It's not happening.
What is Drake's like 2000 era like comp? I've seen a lot of like Nelly.
I was about to say Nelly.
Ja Rule.
Nelly, Ja Rule.
I think he's more talented than both of them.
Yeah, but I don't know. Because it's like, how old... My biggest thing is like, how old was Ja Rule when Ja Rule was Ja Rule? Like, when he was popping, like, how old was he? Because it's like, Drake is damn near pushing 40. It's embarrassing.
Well, Drake's prime's over.
Is it though?
Yes. We're talking about prime, not just numbers. Prime is like also quality of artistry, and I think once you push 40, it's like you're done.
Okay.
Hip hop, you're done.
But
so we're talking. I think Drake's prime was probably like Take Care through.
But the
Scorpion.
The problem with that though is that I agree. In terms of him as an artist. But we gotta think about or talk about like, all right, was Drake really in it for the sake of hip hop as a culture, or was he in it
for the bag? For
the bag because he was good at it.
I think, and you know what, this is great because this was one of my topics. But I think Drake probably started off, because who the hell starts off rapping just for a bag in 2006, right? Like, it wasn't that type of game when he started. So I think based off everything I've heard and seen, you know, all the behind the scenes, he was a fan of this person and that person. I think Drake legitimately loved hip hop when he started. And I think as he learned the industry is a shady place. And I think he just peeped like, yo, hold on. I can finesse this shit. Yeah. And then he stopped giving a fuck. And it was just like, you know what, I'm going to just go get a bag because I got the formula. Because... again, you have, let's start So Far Gone, Thank Me Later, Take Care. Take Care, I feel like, was the arrival, where it's like Drake is like here.
Yeah, like that's him and his...
Right. Then Nothing Was the Same was like the start of like, yeah, y'all niggas can't fuck with me. Then what did he do? If You're Reading It.
Yeah, and that was like...
That was the peak.
That
He
was the
did What a
bar.
Time to Be Alive same year.
Mm-hmm.
And then Views was
Bro,
2016.
I'm not gonna lie. I went back to Views recently. There's some fucking
I
classics.
hated Views when it
Bro,
came out.
Fire and Desire is one of the best songs fucking ever.
I
Fire and
hated
Desire is a really, really like there's some songs
And
on that.
I bet you there is. My biggest problem with Views when it came out was too long. This was before most people started doing the 20 something song
Yeah,
album.
yeah,
And I was sitting there
yeah.
listening to it, and I'm just like, bro, this album does not need to be this long. Like, there's a good 7 songs you could have cut, and this would have been like great. And that's part of my problem with Drake is that he's playing the game for the numbers, and so it's like, all right, well, if I could put together a 12-song album that's flawless, let me get these 12 great songs, then add 8 more that are like, eh. And now I'm like, the quality of the project has declined because you decided to add filler. So I don't think Drake has ever maxed out his artistic potential on a given project. I don't think he's ever sat down and be like, you know what I want to do? I want to like really put together a
Yeah, be
cohesive
the best
project for
Drake.
the sake of a
Yeah.
project. Like, bro, you're rich. I'm not counting nobody's pockets or nothing, but nigga, you're already rich as fuck.
Yeah.
You could do some artsy shit one time for the one time. Just
Yeah.
to do it.
You think he's got it in him?
Yeah.
Do you think dude
Drake's a theater kid, bro.
that's what okay, that's exactly what I was about to say though. I don't think his creativity and his artistry necessarily is. I think his image of Drake is the artistry. Cuz everyone that's met Drake also like a big time actor, they've always said there was a famous Pete Davidson clip about it where he's like, "Oh, like this isn't like I think he's on a talk show. He's like, "Yo, like I realized that Drake really isn't Drake."
Drake is an actor, yeah.
And the whole thing is just like not a front, but it's him essentially acting a specific role. And then like once the cameras go down, like he goes back to like that Toronto kid. So is this just one not a facade, but is his artistry, his creativity just Drake the rapper, or singer, songwriter, R&B?
Yeah, I mean that is the question. So
Oh my
Drake
God.
gets compared to Kanye, right? And for whatever reason. And I do think that Drake did benefit like the timing of his career aligning with Kanye popping off and like stripping the whole gangster like veneer
Yeah,
off the rap.
yeah.
I think there is a level of like you can see the direct correlation. I mean, Find Your Love. Shout out to Find Your Love. Still one of my favorite Drake songs. Kanye wrote.
Bro, crazy story, but not to cut you off, but bro, I that ass sang that shit at a summer camp to a shorty, bro, in front of the whole camp karaoke, bro. I'm winking at her, telling her to slide on me.
Yo!
Bro, shorty ended up being my first kiss. That shit was crazy, bro.
That's actually cute as fuck.
Shit was
Bro,
crazy.
I remember when that song came out. I was in 5th grade, and I remember I was at my sister's dance recital. My older sister's dance recital. And I'm sitting there, and I got my dad's iPhone, and I'm just literally on YouTube playing that song back to back, thinking about my 5th grade crush, bro. I'm like, yo, I'm in love. No, I wasn't.
That's
yo,
crazy.
but Kanye wrote and produced that song.
Yeah.
He directed the music video too. The music video wasn't that good, but he tried. But I think when we're talking about artistry, I don't know. I can't tell you what Drake's max is because I've never seen it. Like, he can write. He wrote Unthinkable by Alicia Keys, which is like one of my favorite R&B songs ever. So he can write, he can rap, he can sing. He's not the greatest vocalist in the world, but he's a rapper, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But as far as like conceptualizing a project, I don't know. I've never seen it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I personally feel like Drake's too talented for the product he's put out to be the product that he's put out. But I also maybe this is his best. I don't know. But I feel like it's not. I feel like if Drake really sat down and said, you know what, yo, 40, party, whoever else is in the sweatshop, lock in. All right, we got 3 months. We're gonna put together a cohesive project.
Yeah.
No filler, no fat. We're trimming all that shit. It's gonna be like 12, 13 songs. We're gonna do what we need to do thematically. It's gonna connect. I think everybody in music would appreciate that from Drake. Cause it's like, yeah, we get it. You make hits. We get it. Like,
Yeah.
we get it.
I
You
think
have a lot.
I think the closest thing that we're ever gonna see to like a full conceptual album is If You're Reading This Is Too Late, and then Scorpion, because Scorpion conceptually could have been an amazing like project, but I'm not gonna lie, that's one project that he just has way too much fucking filler. Like
It's a double album. It's like 20.
it's a double album where both albums just have so much filler, and I'm like, bro, you could have just done 7 and 7, 14.
Right.
You're good, but
I'm sure that tour grows crazy. I went to that tour.
Must be nice.
I went.
Haven't seen Drake live, so
Hey, bro, I'm
must
not
be
gonna
nice.
lie.
Must be nice to have
I went with a shorty that I was seeing at the time. I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there in the crowd saying like, "Dang, if Drake wanted to like take my shorty, she's going hundred
Ain't
percent."
shit you could do.
One of the worst
Ain't shit you
feelings
could
that
do.
I've ever had in my life. I was like, "Damn, I can't do shit." And honestly, I don't even know if I could be mad. Like I can't even because if
Yeah.
Ella May called me on stage, I'm
Oh,
gone. So it's like I
gone.
can't even be mad. But I was just
Gone.
literally sitting there like, "Yo, if Drake literally, I think we was too far back, so I was like, all right, we're good." But if Drake points at you
Yeah.
backstage,
It's
I'm
clipped.
leaving by myself.
It's clipped.
Yeah,
You
that
gotta
felt
chuck it
bad.
up to the game.
Yeah, real
It
shit.
is what it
real
is.
shit. But nah, it was. I'm not gonna lie. As much of a Drake hater as I am,
Mm-hmm.
concert was fire. Migos was also there. Great time.
Yeah.
I've seen Migos twice because I saw them then, and
Must be
I
nice.
saw them with Future in 2017. That shit was fire.
I'm seeing Future in December. That I'm excited for. Rolling Loud.
Yeah.
VIP tickets.
Yeah, no, Future. Listen, because that was 2017, so that's when he was on his mask off. I'm not gonna lie, that concert was crazy. Tory Lane's open, but nobody was paying attention to him. Yeah, have you ever been to the Xfinity Center down in Mansfield?
Yeah, Mansfield. Yeah.
Trenches. Alright,
Yeah,
like
bro.
we walk in there. Mind you, we had graduated on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We had graduated. This is the next Tuesday, like 2 days later. My entire high school graduating class is there. Bro, we pull up, whatever. You go on the lawn. I mean, 2 minutes in.
Pause. For everyone watching and listening, the Xfinity Center, you gotta pay to sit on a fucking lawn to watch the concert.
Mind you,
Shit
though,
is ghetto.
the tickets were like $25.
Still, bro, I gotta sit on some grass, mad fucking
Just
far.
just walk forward.
That's true. You could
Just
walk
walk
forward.
forward.
You could walk
Honestly,
forward.
if you stay on the lawn, that's on you. You clearly
Yeah,
have some
that's
business to
true.
attend to on that lawn. But, bro, when we got there, I promise you, like 2 minutes in, a fight. I'm like, yo, the concert ain't even started yet. Mind you, I see someone get stomped out in like Tim's. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Fighting to Tory Lanez is crazy.
Insane. Mind you, nobody could even hear the nigga. Like, I don't know if the speakers weren't on or something, but we couldn't even hear him. So you just hear, "Pop, pop, pop."
Now fuck him up.
Going on, bro? Oh my god! But that concert was fire because, like, bro, when it was Tory Lanez did his set, nobody was paying attention, and then Migos came on. They did their set. They had Bad and Bougie was out. They had this is prime Migos. So they do their whole set. That shit is fire. They burn down the stage. Future comes out. He do his set. Yo, the last 3 songs he ends the set with: Commas, March Madness, Mask Off. Insane. In 2017, mind you, I keep saying mind you. After Commas, right? They cut the lights. Cut them. Everybody put your fucking phone lights on.
Yeah.
You got these white lights and the fucking dark ass sky. Doo-doo-doo. I was sad. Oh my god! And he burnt it down with Mask Off. That shit was
a core
fire.
moment, bro.
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
Future, I feel like you're gonna like Future.
Yeah.
That nigga got hits. Like he has.
Bro, hits. Like hits. Like
Okay.
hits.
Okay. So since we're on it, Big 3 talk. Big 3 talk.
We talking about like J. Cole, Kendrick,
Yeah,
Drake, or
that era. I'm talking about like
Okay.
the people who came out between like 08 and like 14, right? It's like blog era extended.
Mm-hmm.
I had said some shit about J. Cole that got people tight, but I don't know that J. Cole's really in that 3. I don't know. Like, yes, but I don't know. And I've heard people say that Future should be in there.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I feel like the whole like Kendrick, J. Cole, Drake discussion, it's not limited to just them, but I feel like they just clearly define like the 3 faces of rap, hip hop, R&B, whatever you want to call it. Cause like Drake, you have the whole like moody rap, singy, R&B, melodic type vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick, was really the only true like storyteller of that time for real. And then you got J. Cole, where like J. Cole's history is weird because like his first, like don't get me wrong, his first project you got Dollar in a Dream, you got songs like that where it's like, okay, cool, like he knows how to write a good song, he knows how to spit. And then on the same project you have like Workout, which is amazing sampling of a Kanye song, but he ain't really talking about shit. So it's like it's a weird trajectory because I feel like he knew what he wanted his sound to be, but it took him like 3 projects to really get there.
Was J. Cole the middle ground between Kendrick and Drake? Is that why he happened to? Well, first of all, J. Cole popped before Kendrick did.
Yes, he did.
So Cole was like his mixtapes were what 09, 10?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Cole like
Yeah.
had like his cosign. He got signed
Mhm.
to Jay-Z. So
Mhm.
he popped. I think Drake popped first.
Yeah.
Cole popped.
Yeah.
You had the two light skinned mixed guys
Yeah.
doing their thing, and then Kendrick kind of came around
Yeah.
later. But you're right, where his mixtapes were very rappy.
Yeah,
He
for
was more
sure.
rap.
For sure.
But then when he came on with work, because I think the two singles that I remember, it was "Workout" and "Can't
Mhm.
Get Enough," which were both like
Yeah.
pop rap.
Yeah.
Like, "Can't
And
Get
then
Enough"
he
had the
also
Drake song.
on that same project he had the song with Missy Elliott, I think.
Nobody's Perfect. Yup.
Yeah.
I really like that song.
I'm not saying these are bad songs. I'm just saying
Right. Where
where he
was he at?
started, exactly. It's like it's just a weird trajectory. I feel like people were confused about who he was as a artist for a fat minute.
I mean, I think he probably had this, same realization where it's like, I mean, he talks about it on Let Nas Down, where it's like, yo, I was rapping my ass off. And the label was like, I need a hit.
Mm-hmm.
So then he made a hit, and he was like, hold on, I actually can just do this.
Yeah.
So he made a couple more hits, and that's what his first album was. So I think his first album itself is like, some high moments, but it's like,
I mean, there's no like lows on that album either.
there's a couple. I'm not gonna lie. There's a couple. There's a couple where I'm
Let me
like,
see.
Sideline Story.
J. Cole.
Speaking of Sideline Story, the song, the title track, might be my favorite J. Cole song of all time. Dollar in a Dream, Can't Get Enough, Lights Please, that was on the tape. That's a great song. Sideline Story, Mr. Nice Watch. I don't think that song's that good.
Mr. Nice Watch?
I don't think that song's that good.
You gotta revisit that.
Nah, I
You gotta
have. That's what I'm saying. No more.
Trevor's getting old. Trevor's getting old.
Never Told. I actually cannot imagine what that song sounds like off top. God's Gift. I don't really like that song. Breakdowns, like a good song, kind of, but I don't really like it.
So on an 18 track album, there's like two skits / interludes. So 16, you name two skips. And one of them because you can't remember the song because your dementia's kicking in. So like,
all right, you know what? But I mean, yes,
it's just not. It's just like I said.
It's not his peak.
No, for sure.
I think his
for
best
sure.
album is Born Sinner.
Okay, that's a hot take. That's a hot
Is
take.
it a hot take? I thought that was like the general consensus.
I don't think so. I think 2014.
Forest Hills Drive.
Yeah,
that's my favorite. But I think his best album is
I'm the flip. Born Sin is my favorite album of his, but I feel like
2014 Forest Hills Drive
is his best project.
I'm not gonna lie. I hate two songs on 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
You hate them?
Hate them.
I swear to God.
Hello?
Hello.
That song sucks, bro. I don't care what anybody, and I don't like Saint Tropez.
Oh, now you're tripping.
I
Saint
hate
Tropez is good.
He's
My favorite
on his way.
song of all time is on that album. So that album will always have a place in my heart. Love Yours is an amazing song. It's just like,
Yeah, no, I think it's a beautiful song. My personal, like, it's the intro into January 28th. Like, nothing will top that.
yeah,
Because
I remember listening to the album for the first time.
Sequencing. And part of my thing with Drake, this nigga does not care about the sequence of his albums. He's like, I'm putting a bunch of songs on it. They're all hot. You're going to listen to them. My numbers are going to be. But when you use the same sample for the intro and then you just right into the next song and you rapping your ass off over a smooth ass soulful sample, I'm sorry you did your big one. You did your big one.
Yeah.
Wet Dreams was a moment. That was a moment.
It's my least favorite song on the album.
It's not mine, but you know what I'm saying?
My least favorite song. It's a good song. I just got tired of it.
I think, all right, so my thing with Wet Dreams, I feel like you knew where the story was going.
Oh, for sure.
But it was still a moment because I remember everyone was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things that like everybody can relate to. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody can relate to that. So that was a good. 03 Adolescence, great song. Taylor Two Cities, great song. Fire Squad, I kind of hate the end, but fine, whatever. I just cannot stand Saint Tropez. I don't know why.
He's an old head.
I don't like it.
Old.
I never liked it. GOMD, great song. No
Great
Role
song.
Models, great song. Hello is ass. Ass. Get that shit off of here. Apparently's fine. Love Yours fine. And then Note to Self's just like your old like mid 2000s outro. So I mean, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I'll give it to you. 2014 Forest Hill Drive. But after that, I didn't like For Your Eyes Only. I thought it was very much.
I didn't like it either.
Copy Kendrick.
I didn't like it either.
The timing was bad. You did a concept album that's really jazzy, a year after Kendrick dropped To Pimp a Butterfly. It seemed like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
trying to do what you're doing. I didn't like KOD at all.
I haven't listened to it since it came out. Honestly, I haven't listened to any Cole projects really since For Your Eyes Only. Like seriously listen
Me
to them.
either.
I just haven't. I'm not gonna lie. After KOD, I'm like, yeah.
No, that's what I'm
bro,
saying. You
like-
give me two in a row that I'm not feeling, I'm not listening anymore. So
Like, yeah.
For Your Eyes Only, I listened to like twice or three times because this was back when I was in high school.
Have you listened to it recently?
For Your Eyes Only?
Yeah. Now that you're like older and like,
I haven't. I probably will.
I hated that album when it came out, and I listened to it not too long ago, maybe like a couple months ago, and I'm like, yo, like he was. It's old head rap.
That's
It's old
probably
head rap.
where he took his turn, though. I think between Born Center and 2014 Forest Hills Drive, something happened just mentally in his life where he was just like, I don't really give a fuck about all of this shit.
Yeah.
So 2014 Forest Hills Drive is like, yo, I'm going back to my roots. And then by For Your Eyes Only, he's just like, yo, I'm a fucking grown ass adult. Like,
Yeah, I mean, but I can respect that though as an artist because it's like I mentioned this earlier with the whole Drake thing where it's like Drake and Future. Like, don't get me wrong, yes, they're hit makers and they're still making hits, and I guess that's kind of the point. Like, they're making music for people that have time to. Honestly, for people like us that have 10,000 minutes in a month to listen to music. But like I'm like, bro, like y'all are pushing 40. But like J. Cole and Kendrick, those are artists that and Andre 3000 talked about this recently where he's like, yo, like I think he's like 50 plus. He's like I literally have nothing to rap about.
yeah.
I have nothing meaningful to say or to rap about that people can relate to at my age. And
Do you care if it's not relatable if it's packaged in a way where you can understand it?
I personally don't care because I also believe in listening to music multiple different times for different reasons, right? So it's like, and again, this is something that Tyler the Creator talks about, where he's like, I can drop a song, and one person is listening for the melodies, just a straight melody. The same song, another person is listening for the lyrics. Another person is like looking for drum patterns. I forget where I was going with that, but yeah. But like essentially just
listen to those various things. No, I agree.
Oh, facts. Yeah. So, yeah, like if I can't relate to it, because it's like realistically, Mr. Nice Watch, I can't relate to that shit.
Right.
I don't, not wearing shit.
My wrists are fucking empty.
But it was.
I think that's the important part, right? So I remember when 444 dropped by Jay-Z, it was 2017.
Yes.
So that is an old man album, right? Like I don't understand nothing you're talking about. I was 18 when that album dropped.
Talking about buying fucking artwork for investments.
You get what I'm saying? You talking about cheating on your wife, having
I feel
kids.
Dumbo. I'm like,
I don't know what the fuck this motherfucker's talking about, but the fact that you're presenting this information in a way that allows me to kind of see your perspective, that to me is the important part. So for me, especially with hip hop, and this is gonna get into this idea of like, is hip hop dead that we was talking about last night, right? Where rap is the genre where you're supposed to use your words, right?
okay.
And so as a rapper, I feel like, okay, you get to an age where you're like, I don't know if any of the things that I have to talk about are relatable. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just present it in a way where we can see your perspective, right? So it's like, all right, if you're talking about the fucking struggles of like, oh, my kids are growing up and I got to think about like, are they prepared to have children?
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be a cool thing for me to hear in an album. You like actually contemplating what that means to you and how that affects your life. I'm cool with that, even if I can't relate to it, even if it's some shit that I won't understand for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine as long as you present it in a way that like allows. It's like literature, right? There's a lot of books that we read that we're like, I can't relate to this, but they present it in a way where you understand where they're coming from and you can get something out of it. I think with Future, Drake, it's like y'all are continuing to make entertaining music, and that's great. Music is entertainment, but I also think like we can't forget about the artistic side of it, and that I like to draw that dichotomy of like music for art.
Bro, you love this word dichotomy, bro.
That's my favorite word. See if Garbus was here right now. Yo, what that mean?
What that mean? How you spell it? That's okay. I can't spell that shit either.
DICHO.
All right, bro. We get it. We get it. You went to Harvard.
No, but it's like I do think that there is an approach when you're saying I'm making music.
Nah, for sure.
Like have a good time with versus I'm making a body of art. And so for somebody who's getting older, I would like to see a little bit of that because I can listen to niggas rap about having money, being successful, fucking taking my bitch. All right, I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got more money than me, you can take my bitch. I understand. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I do want to see like some more diversity in the subject matter because it's like, yo, at the end of the day, rap's been around for 50 years. Like, we've heard it. Okay, let's expand what it is that we're talking about. So I think that's where the older rappers have an opportunity. But at the same time, there is the conversation about, okay, well, they're also competing with the 18-year-old who's making some
Yeah.
lit shit.
Yeah. I feel like we grew up in a time with rap specifically, like our upbringing with rap, like our introduction to rap, we were fucking spoiled,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because when we were briefly having the conversation last night, I went to like I know my first introduction to rap was Outkast and Kanye, 808s and Heartbreaks. Those are like the first two things I really remember on the radio and like purposefully watching. And I like one of the very first memories of music was the whole like Kanye Taylor VMA shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my first remembrance of like a hip hop song on the radio was "So Fresh and So Clean," and whenever
Body don't pass me
facts,
by.
and whenever it would come on the radio, my mom, I was like super young, and my mom would always turn it up, and she's like, "Oh, Julian, like you like this song?" And I'm like, "I do," and
Okay.
so that's us being spoiled, right? But then like I said yesterday, I went back to what as far as back as I know, right, and I went back to like Beastie Boys, Run DMC, Rakim. It's tricky. Fucking Run DMC is like one of their biggest songs. It's literally them just saying how hard it is to rhyme, and a fucking
I met this little girly.
like
Her hair was kind of
their
curly.
second biggest
Bad
song.
bars. Oh my god.
Terrible, horrendous. But I started thinking, I'm like, this is literally them just saying nonsense and flowing on a beat. What's the difference between this and Gunna?
Melodies.
That's melody. It's literally them just flowing on a beat.
That's
we
true.
not we not like we might not like the melody, and we might have outgrown that melody.
They weren't being super melodic. They were really just rapping.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
guess.
I do think that is a major development in the evolution of hip hop is that the melodies have been incorporated more broadly.
Mhm.
Melody has always been a part of hip hop to a certain degree, but the rappers are really like being melodic. But the flows are more intricate. The subject matter has widened. The cadences have differentiated, and the melodies have expanded. Where it's like Gunna when I imagine when he's selecting beats, he's going through thinking about how can I build a melody off of the one in the beat versus something like It's Tricky where it's like there's not a ton of melody in that song to begin with.
That's true.
So, but again,
So when does rap take that turn though? Because you have Run DMC and all those in like the late '80s, just rap and just basically just a rap, and then you have like Pac, Biggie, Nas. Where I jokingly yesterday I was like, "Yo, people that listen to Run DMC were probably having strokes. They were probably having a stroke when Pac came out." And then now we look back at Pac like, oh my god, like, and for good reason. You feel me? And then you go into like the 2000s. Is it Outkast?
Are you saying who introduced the melody?
The melody,
to hip hop?
yeah.
I would say a couple things. I think Lauryn Hill has to get a
For sure.
Like,
Oh, we got to talk about that too later.
I actually wrote an essay my sophomore year. I was taking a class on the evolution of black popular music, and so we had to do a breakdown of a particular album from like the neo soul era. So I chose The Miseducation, and I was talking about we talk a lot about like this was 2018, so this was right at the beginning of the trap like revolution.
Yeah.
And so, I was like, we talk a lot about like the introduction of melody in hip hop, and a lot of people will credit it to Kanye's 808s, right? And I think 808s was a very pivotal album in the evolution of hip hop. But if we really think about artists who could rap and sing at a high level, Lauren did it. Like,
Nah, for sure.
She did it. Like,
For
that's not,
For sure.
Miseducation is not a rap album, but it's also like not an R&B album. It's somewhere in the middle.
It's a Lauryn Hill album.
I think there's that. You got Outkast. I think you got Ja Rule, 50 Cent, because you look at 21 Questions.
Yeah.
Like, you know? So you have a lot of this happening, and it's a lot of people putting it out. But I do think Kanye was the one who was like, yo, I'm just leaning all the way into this. I will say, all of this, not all of this, but I think T-Pain needs his credit.
Oh.
Because if I think about the most influential rappers out of the, we talk about the big three from the 2010s, but the big three in terms of influence from the 2000s, if you ask me, it's Wayne, Ye, T-Pain. Because Lil Wayne and Kanye both went on their little auto-tune run, and I don't think either of them would have done it if T-Pain wasn't who he was.
So your big three, you said Kanye?
As far as, if you say who are the most influential artists in the hip-hop R&B space from the 2000s, I'm going to say Lil Wayne, Kanye West, T-Pain.
You gotta throw 50 up there though. You have to throw 50.
Yeah, yes,
You
yes,
have
but
to
I'm talking
throw
about.
50.
I think I'm really thinking about it as like bleeding into the next decade because 50's run was early, and so he set the.
It was
mixtape
early,
thing
but
on
it's still
fire.
to this day. Like people are to the, what 3 years ago we had Pop Smoke and people were like, "Oh,
He
that's
sound like
50,"
Yep.
right? So it's like, and I feel like I don't know.
All right, so let's think about that. You think about artists influenced by 50 Cent, right? Where you can very clearly like it doesn't take a genius to see that influence.
Yeah,
Right? You got Pop Smoke.
all of New York,
Okay, right, but is New York really popping like that right now?
crazy because I'm literally gonna show you my notes. My somebody texted me. My third. I'm gonna read my first three. My first one is Eminem is basura. We could talk about that later because I know we
I would love to.
I know we yeah. My second one is Spanish and Afrobeats is the next big genre to like really
That is
pop.
a fact. That is a fact.
And then New York City controls all American music.
Does New York City control all American music? Yes and no.
All American music.
Yes and no.
All.
Like,
And it's going I'm going back to like the 60s with this.
yeah, I mean, yes.
And to
like,
this day.
I think historically the point's more poignant than it is now. I think because of the internet,
I think to this day.
I think New York does have outsized influence given its population and given the fact that it is the most important city in North America.
So if we're gonna talk right now, what's the biggest city in
Atlanta.
Okay. Who let's okay.
It's Atlanta. It's for sure.
Who is the main like trailblazers of Atlanta rap right now? Like who set the fire of Atlanta right now?
Future and Thug.
Okay, what do Future and Thug like really do? Is it just floating and like okay.
They're crooners.
Okay.
That's the word. They're
I wanna
crooners.
see I'm not disagreeing that their style isn't unique per se. I want to see when Future drops his first project. Because I was literally this exact same thought process you're going through, I went through, and I checked something.
Turn on the lights. I'm looking for.
First one is Dirty Sprite, 2011. Right? If we're going to talk about album, I think Honest. Yeah, it's a deluxe. So Honest was in 2014. ASAP Rocky,
Ooh.
2011. Is he not just floating and just talking about some bullshit?
Okay, but you remember ASAP Rocky could not beat the "you want to be a Houston nigga," and like he could not beat those allegations. He couldn't. Like that when he dropped, everyone was like, "Yeah, you're from New York, but you don't sound like New York."
Who was from Houston at that time? That was
Around,
really
2011. No,
yeah.
they weren't talking about it at that time, but it was like he had the chopped and screwed sound going crazy.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And that's what they were saying, right? So you have these ambient, like kind of spacey beats. It's very cloudy, and then you got your voice slowed down. So they were like, "Yo, that's Houston." So
is that not Atlanta though? Right now,
I'm not
spacey beats and just floating.
I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying like, who's producing the hottest artists consistently? It's Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean that's not when I say New York controls all of music. I'm saying like that is the epicenter. That is where everything starts. That's where
New York is the most important city in North America.
For
so
sure.
naturally, when you're talking about culture, things are gonna have to go through the place where there's fucking 8 million people. So yes, but I do think if you're thinking about like which city has the biggest imprint as far as artistry on hip hop right now, it's Atlanta. It's not really much of
I
debate.
don't know.
Like
I'm not
does
disagreeing.
New York have right
I'm not disagreeing that Atlanta.
Ice Spice is your fucking
Chef
champion.
G.
I'm not fucking Trump's campaign. Like, is this what we're doing?
I'm not disagreeing that Atlanta doesn't have its artists. I'm just saying Atlanta doesn't happen without New York. And my argument isn't necessarily limited to hip hop. It's all of music, with the exception of maybe country. But where my thought process of this came from was I was thinking about Spanish music and salsa. Salsa is like the really big first like mainstream Spanish genre to really like take over the world. And the way salsa exploded, it's like a mix of a lot of different sounds. But where it really exploded was in New York, where literally like black jazz singers and black rock artists were meeting up with like fresh off the boat Puerto Rican guys that were just like basic not rapping but like just doing like flowing on a song, like doing swing music, and literally like it was a giant combination of the most talented artists in a specific genre, and then they created what ended up becoming modern day salsa. That was New York.
No, that's a
Rap,
fact.
New York.
That is a fact.
That's my main.
No. Everything, like, without New York, nothing as far as hip hop happens. But if we're talking about just like who is producing right now, it is Atlanta. Again, who are New York's biggest acts right now?
I mean, we're not gonna add they don't got acts, but it's not as big as it's not.
Who are their biggest?
It's not as big as Atlanta. They got like Chef G, Sleepy Hollow. They got the whole drill thing, but people are tired of it.
That's what I'm saying. Chef G and Sleepy Hollow. One of them niggas been in jail.
He's not getting out. I'm not gonna lie though. I think our age does play a part into it though.
Oh, I'm an old head.
Not only you are old head, but it's like if we think back 3-4 years ago, we were in Atlanta when like We Paid came out. We were in Atlanta for major songs. We were in Atlanta when the Trap Museum became a thing. Right. So it's like I think for us, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this because people say all like literally. I have a little brother who's 18. He tells me all the time, "Yo, Lil Baby's washed." I'm like, "Yo, stop disrespecting."
No, Lil Baby is his.
Bro, relax. You
don't think his career's on life support?
No. He's good. He's fine. You drop one good album in the streaming era, you're fine. You're good.
No, okay, all right. That may be true as far as like, okay, you can eat. But if we're talking about like artistic development, like
again, that's
bruh, I'm not gonna lie, like his last album was like a snooze fest. I was sitting here like, yo, what the fuck am I listening to? I'm bored.
I think though that's assuming that each rapper or R&B singer is doing music for their creativity. They had to pay Lil Baby to rap.
No, fair. No,
his introduction to rap wasn't him being creative.
That's the point. That is literally the point. Like, he came here to get his money, and he's doing that. And congratulations to you. You came in and achieved your goal. But as far as when we're comparing artists who are like actually making quality music, Lil Baby fell like bad. Like, My Turn was a certified heater. I don't remember. It's Only Me. Was that what the album was called? It came and went. His guest verses over the last year.
But was My Turn really creative?
Was it really that good?
Was it him? Was it an artist's like? Was it an artist?
No, Lil Baby was never that guy. Realistically, Lil Baby was never that guy.
He's been making the same type of music for years.
That's the point. Your clock ran out.
I guess.
But when I talk about hip hop being dead, quote unquote, and now mind you, niggas have been saying this since like 1980. So literally, whatever. Nas literally made a whole album in like 06 called Hip Hop Is Dead. So like, yes, this is something that people have been saying about rap music for forever. But when we look at the modern landscape of hip hop, the stars are not developing. I don't know if that's all music because I don't listen to all music, right? So, but you think about the biggest people who got popping since 2017. You have Baby, you have Gunna, you have Roddy, you have
Roddy came and went less than a year.
Nah, he had
after the box. That whole album.
But that's what I'm saying. He had like Feed the Streets. It was like 17, 18-ish. And then he dropped his album at the end of 2019 that ran through like 2020. And then I think he dropped the album in like 2020.
Yeah, and everyone flamed on it.
But that's my point is that the artists who are coming out and getting hot have no staying power. That's the problem. Who are just point blank bar none, who are the biggest acts in hip hop right now?
Drake. Future, Kendrick.
2010s niggas. These niggas are 40. These niggas are 40. Besides Travis, right? Like, Travis was supposed to get the mantle, and then the fucking Astro World shit kind of fucked it up. But it's like, these niggas are pushing 40.
Do we feel like a lot of artists, we'll call them artists, like the people, like the names we're saying, like Lil Baby, Gunnas, like people that aren't really hip hop's like rap?
Yeah.
Do we feel like they overextended their stay because of COVID?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because people literally had nothing to do but to stay inside and listen to music.
Yeah.
It's the global renaissance. We have to get deep real quick.
That's a good question because I think they would have had that time anyway. Because like again,
I think they would have had
Gunna and Baby both kind of popped in 2017. So 17,
That
18.
was
Right?
yeah,
Freestyle
yeah, yeah,
17.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Right.
was
So
in
they
high
both
school.
kind of popped, and then Slime Season 3 was 18, I believe. Right. So they both kind of popped like 17, 18. So I think they would have had that time to do their thing anyway. I think Gunna would have had more staying power than Baby just generally because I think Gunna's better than Baby.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do think people were like, yeah, you make hot shit, so we'll give you like an ear. COVID helped.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Baby did his, you know what I'm saying, his Black Lives Matter.
he
You know what I'm
got
saying?
he got that
It's a
bag.
bag, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to you. But yes, I think both of them did have albums that came out during COVID. So my term was literally like 2 weeks before COVID hit.
Yeah.
And
Shout out
Gunna
Atlanta though.
was like 2 months later. So I do think COVID helped. But I also think Gunna's in a different position than Baby. I think that's that's a different conversation. I think Gunna versus Baby is a different conversation because Gunna has an ability that Lil Baby I don't think has. I think Gunna's flows are better. I think his melodies are better.
I think Gunna is legitimately an artist when
Yes,
it
I
comes
agree.
to like.
I think Lil Baby is here literally just because it's like this is not illegal.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like I'm
Yeah.
gonna get my hustle money legally. I think that's why Lil Baby raps. I think Gunna actually wants to make music. I think that when he came out of prison and he dropped that the gift of the curse,
yeah.
I think that gave him a legitimacy
Mm-hmm.
that will keep him around for a while.
Yeah,
I think people are looking at Lil Baby like I don't know
yeah.
because he had the Central C shit, so he had the feature on Central C.
Oh, the Band for Band.
Yeah, I thought that song was ass. But I'm also an
It's a
old head
TikTok
hater.
song.
I'm an old head hater.
TikTok
So
song.
we go band for band. Fuck it, we go. Shut up. I also don't think I've liked any Central C song that I've ever heard. I'm an old head. Okay?
Yo, are you saying that you could out rap Baby? Is that what you're saying?
Like bar for bar,
Bar
like
for bar.
like low key,
That's
low key,
crazy.
low key.
Yo, Lil Baby, if you're listening to this, Trev wants to take you on one-on-one in a rap
I'm just
battle.
saying,
That's crazy. He wants to go bar for
I
bar.
don't think I would win. I don't think people would be like, "Oh yeah, your shit."
You
Was
can hold your weight.
But I think if we were sitting there like, "Yo,
That's
we got to
crazy.
dissect
That's
the
crazy.
bars," I'm cooking this nigga. Cause I'm over
Motherfuckers
here,
graduate from Harvard
I'm over
once.
here doing some like literary shit. You know what I'm saying? This nigga's just gonna say whatever, talk about some
Bro.
hustle bitches. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I would win. Like I
That's
thought,
not hip hop though.
nah, it is.
Okay.
But I think it's low level hip hop. I think hip hop has something for everybody, and I think that some people just want to hear the same shit over and over,
Yeah.
repackaged, and that's okay.
So, how do you feel about a very? I guess. Are we gonna call it a new sound in hip hop? It's a different sound in hip hop. We're talking about like your Tyler the Creators, your Earl Sweatshirts.
I love it. I don't listen to it personally, but I love it.
Interesting.
Like I've never been a Tyler Creator fan. I think he came in like way too strong with the like I'm saying some flagrant shit on beat.
I mean, he was also like barely 17.
No, I agree, but I do think that just like my introduction to him was like, oh, this is kind of like a lot. So I just never kind of got into it. And it's like realistically, Tyler Creator been around since like 2011. You know what I'm saying? So he's like,
he's been around for a minute.
no, he's been around for a minute, and it's like his career took a transition where he had the Odd Future era, and then he went
rebranded
solo,
He rebranded.
and he turned into the artsy nigga. So like. I don't listen to Tyler Creator that much, but I do like the fact that he is in this space.
That he exists in the space.
I think that the alternative like vibes are like good for hip hop because again, we can't just have street rap. Like we can't.
Mm-hmm.
We will. It's gonna burn out because at the end of the day, I get it. You flip bricks. You flip birds. Like I know all the metaphors you're about to give me. I know exactly when you give me this setup line, I know exactly what the punch is gonna be.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a certain level of like I've heard that before. And yeah, it's like when I go to work out or when I'm driving the car, it sounds good. But I also need that music where I'm like, I'm really trying to sit down for an hour and a half and just like consume something that I feel like your Tylers, your Earls, your Vince Staples, people like that, they're putting out that type of music. So I think the alternative scene is doing really well. I also think the fact that one of the things hip hop has done is it started to blend.
What do you mean?
As far as like, you know, the melodic stuff, right? They started to blend into different genres. Hip hop has always incorporated other genres, but it's blending outwards as well. So you look like Lil Baby and Gunna, right? Like they're going to do like collabs with artists of all different types, right? So Gunna has his I'm a Piano feature. He's got his reggae feature. You know what I'm saying? Lil Baby got he did the song with Byron Messiah, right? So hip hop is starting to blend into different genres, which I think is useful. But I do think that there is two issues. We've left rapping Rappers don't rap. Right? Rappers don't care for the lyrics that they're rappers
Yeah.
aren't rappers don't write, which for some people is okay. But I don't need 3 albums of you just punching in. All right, like write some shit, please. So the emphasis on lyrics has dwindled significantly. The attention span has gone down, so people aren't making albums anymore.
Yeah, I think the attention span's a huge issue.
It's terrible.
It's a huge issue.
It's terrible. And
I was in Puerto Rico in May, and we were on a long ass drive, like long ass, but it's like a 2.5 hour drive, maybe 3 hours. And during that drive, I wanted to take a nap, and I was on Aux, so I just put on the like Bad Bunny's album, not the one that just dropped, the one before that. And my brother, who's 18, he was like, "This is the first time I've listened to any album just
ever
like from start to finish," and I was like, "Yeah, like we're cooked, like we're cooked." Granted, it's a long album. I think it's like 20 songs, an hour and a half, but the fact that you can't listen to any album, mind you, this kid has Kids See Ghosts on vinyl. That shit is 7 songs long,
this is like maybe 22 minutes.
if that. So it's like, what you mean you can't listen to a whole album? So yeah, I think attention spans are fucking cooked. Like, we're clipped.
No,
GG's.
it's bad because again, people aren't putting out albums, so.
And then the kids that aren't listening to those albums in 5 years are gonna be the one dropping the big albums.
Right. So we're getting microwave music again. I didn't listen.
Microwave music.
I didn't listen to Ice Spice's album because I love myself enough. Right? Like,
I didn't even know she dropped an album.
Y2K.
Let me go look at this.
It's like 10 songs, and I think 4 of the songs came out as singles prior to the album dropping.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like what is the use of this album?
23 minutes. Damn, that's not even. It's like 2.5 minutes.
23 minutes. I'm tired of 2-minute, 15-second songs, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot of singles on this too.
I'm tired of it. I feel like
hold on, she got a deluxe.
I don't want to hear that shit.
They got one extra song.
Oh my God. You know what? Let me rant on Ice Spice for a little second. I feel like, well, no, let me not even talk about Ice Spice. I think the fact, this goes back to my thing about stars, right? Who the fuck is the stars who are 18, 19, 20? Because hip hop has always thrived off that. Who?
Young stars?
Yeah, like who is that?
There's nobody right now.
This is why I say that.
I mean, all the 18-year-olds are like fucking socially awkward though. They was not seeing people for like 3 years.
That is true. That is true.
They wasn't on the corner flipping bricks. You wasn't in the streets.
I do think that we like the fact that, all right, we're sitting here, we're halfway through a new decade, and we haven't had nobody show themselves as like, yo, I'm here to take the banner.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's people, but they're not rappers.
Oh yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
All the new artists are not rappers.
That is what I'm saying about rap though. Like rap is, you look at rock and roll. Rock and roll had its peak, and then rap and roll still around.
Yeah.
It's not what it used to be in the fucking 80s. Hip hop.
The only people really touring for real are the old ass
legacy
groups.
acts.
The legacy
hip hop
acts.
is there. Like that happened. I think it already happened. I think
Missy Elliott was just on tour with LL Cool J and shit. Like it's
the commercialization. And I took a class my senior year with Ninth Wonder about hip hop, and we talked about this. And he comes from a past era, and if you look at it, commercialization is necessary to a certain degree because at the end of the day, if you want people to make the art, they need to be able to eat off of it. So, yes, people have been able to get money through the art. But the fact that hip-hop became the #1 genre in the world, people are like, hold on, I could get a bag off this. I don't give half a fuck about what hip-hop is, what it stands for, the culture. I'm here for the money. So it became oversaturated, plus the fact that everybody can make music now.
Yeah.
And so now we're sitting in a spot where it's 2024. We're going to turn to 2025, and we don't have nobody to carry the mantle. Our biggest, when Drake and Kendrick went at it, those were the 2 biggest stars in hip hop. They were the 2 biggest stars in hip hop, and they both debuted.
They've been the 2 biggest
15 years ago. They debuted 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Honestly, longer than that. But that's not a good place to be in. Imagine if the NBA didn't have Anthony Edwards and John Moran and Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic. Like, if LeBron, Steph Curry, and KD were still the biggest guys and you didn't have nobody coming up after them, you'd be looking at the NBA like, yo, we might be cooked.
How old was what I'm about to look up is how old was Kanye and Jay-Z and all those heads when Drake first started? Because maybe we're just getting to that point. Maybe the cycle, maybe we're thinking the cycle is
When are we
like
saying Drake
three.
started? 08? 09?
Whenever
So far gone?
Find Your Love, whenever Find Your Love came out,
Let's
that's
call it
what I'm
2010. Let's
saying.
call it 2010. So Jay-Z came out in 96. He was 26. So that's 14 years after that.
So he was 40. So are we getting to that time?
But like you got to think about like Jay-Z was like the 90s and then went into the 20 like the 2000s. Like you had a whole bunch of people in between that. Like you had Kanye pop out, you had Lil Wayne pop out, you had 50 Cent, you had Jeezy, you had Ti, you had a whole you had.
But we're not gonna act like a lot of those acts haven't came and went. Jeezy gone.
No. Jeezy has like a
He has a legacy. I'm saying he had a good run. He had a career, but he's already out the game.
I mean, yeah, but Jeezy probably started in like the early 2000s. So like, yeah, most people aren't gonna last from the early 2000s.
The only person that really lasted
was
Kanye.
Right, but it's like, yeah, you don't expect most artists to last 20 years. But I'm thinking about like even the artists who are coming out, are lasting like 3.
So okay, so if we were to make the argument, if we were to try to like scrape and try to find who those artists are now for hip hop, who?
Gunna, like he's one guy. I think he'll be around. He'll be around. I think he'll be around. I think his music is like easy enough to listen to, but it's also like malleable enough that he can go in different directions with it. So I think he'll be around.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people that can rap are so disassociated from the genre as a whole that they're kind of just doing other shit. Like I feel like artists like Brent, artists like, I mean, are we considering Tyler hip hop? Are we gonna do that? That alternative wave that doesn't really accept them.
He's hip hop, but
his last album was hip hop.
Like, yes. So Tyler's hip hop. Tyler's definitely hip hop.
Okay.
Like, when you think about Tyler creative, you're gonna put him in any genre. You're putting him in hip hop. Now, his music is it like rap music? Eh. But he's hip hop. Tyler comes from hip hop. But Tyler's also older.
He's like what, 30?
He's not that old.
He just turned 30. He just turned 30.
Did he?
He's a fresh 30.
Oh, okay. Well, Tyler's been around for forever.
He's also been, yeah.
So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, when we think about all the guys, all the people who are really doing it, they all came out in the 2010s.
I mean, all the new stars, like, all the big stars are, in my opinion, for like R&B artists. The Weeknd is a newer star. That's R&B.
Even The Weeknd, though. Weeknd was doing his shit in the 2010s.
Yeah. He came out during Take Care, so what, 2014?
Was a bona fide superstar by 2016, for sure. Like, I mean, he was selling shit out.
But we're still considering that a newer artist, no?
No.
That's crazy.
No, I'm talking about God. I'm talking about,
like the last, like
2024.
Yeah, bro.
It's 2024. We are in the middle of a new decade. In the middle. Like, it's not 2021 no more.
Yeah.
Like, we are well into the 2020s, and everybody we think of is a 2010s artist. We're fucked.
Yeah.
We're cooked.
Yeah.
Hip hop is cooked.
Yeah. And then we still got Eminem dropping shit too.
Eminem is basura. That's gonna be our
basura.
Final. That's gonna be our final look.
Eminem is basura.
Yo. I didn't listen to his last album. I know we was talking to Tremaine about that, but I didn't listen to his last album. I probably won't. But I
think, okay, so I have a coworker who's a little bit older, and he was in the back just bumping old Eminem. Mm-hmm. And it dawned on me, my introduction to Eminem, for better or for worse, was Recovery.
That was in 2010?
Not Afraid.
Yep. I'm not afraid.
I'm not going to make any social comments. I think that was my downfall to me not liking Eminem. Because it's not that I don't like the song, but I'm like, for me, where my introduction to rap was Kanye, 808s, Outkast, and then I hear this old grumpy guy singing, and I'm not gonna lie, there's some punchlines I'm Not Afraid that are fucking horrendous, terrible.
Shit, cut the crap,
bro. What are we talking about? No! Like, so then I think that's where my downfall. My take on Eminem is this, and it's always been this. I respect him as a lyricist or whatever the fuck, but his shit just don't sound good, bro.
First of all, his voice is annoying as shit.
His voice annoying. The flows, Personally, I'm not
Yo,
fucking with
stop
it.
that fast rapping shit, please, please,
Nobody cares.
please, bro.
Bro,
You're making up
bro, he
words
had
for the
this.
sake of
There's,
the
there's
rhyme.
this one interview. People say nothing wrong with orange, and then he goes out door hinge. I'm like, bro, shut up, bro. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, bro.
What are we talking about? Like,
No,
no.
I understand. I understand. I said this again. I took a couple classes on like music stuff when I was in school, and my freshman year, it was the spring semester. We were talking about something, and someone said something about Eminem. I'm like, yo, no lie, Eminem has been trash for 7 years. It was like, did you say Eminem was trash? I'm like, not his whole career, but for the last 7 years, he's been garbage. Like he's been garbage. I don't want to hear an Eminem song. Don't play it. Like, don't be like, yo, I want to hear that new Eminem. No, I don't.
Yo,
Mind you, he's 50.
mind you, they was playing Eminem at the last function that Trev and I went to was at my crib. I come out my room, they blasted Eminem in the hallways. I said, yo, what the fuck? I don't know.
It's literally slipped my mind. Like I don't even remember that Eminem was playing. I just remember having a conversation about Eminem, so I know he was playing.
Because I said something, I was like, why the fuck are we playing Eminem right now? Who plays Eminem at a function? Imagine you at a function, you talk,
Scaring the hoe.
bro, terrifying the hoes, bro. Like you over here trying to mac, and all you hear is Stan in the background.
Him. Why he sound like that, bro? Why his voice sound like that?
Bro, he's got a free trial or some shit.
Yo,
His time running out. Like,
crazy. Son.
I'm sorry. Just Eminem does not make sonically good music. That's all I'm gonna say.
I agree. And I mean, I feel like even if you go back to some of his old shit, you start listening to it, like, this is a little crazy, no? Like, this is a little crazy. But yeah, no, I don't think Eminem has produced good music since the
1900s. The 1900s. The 1900s.
He wasn't doing nothing in the early 2000s?
In the late 90s. I'm pretty sure Marshall Mathers was 98. I could be very wrong because I was born in 2001. So
I know something came out around the turn of the century, so I'm gonna give him early 2000s.
Oh, he's got Lose Yourself. I'll give him that one.
And
he's got Mockingbird. I'll give him that
and
one.
he's got like some features and stuff. No lie, like the feature on Forever, still one of the.
Oh yeah.
To this day, it's still like. Yeah. So my introduction to Eminem was right around then. You know what it was? There was a rock. I think it was a rock band. It was either Rock Band or Guitar Hero, but it was
99
versus Eminem, and so
99 Slim Shady LP. 1900s.
So I remember there was this it was either Rock Band or Guitar Hero. I think it was Rock Band. It was Jay-Z versus Eminem. So they had like the promo video for it. That's when I first started getting back into, because I think I was in like 3rd or 4th grade. So I get on YouTube and start like looking up their stuff. And then I remember when Eminem appeared on Forever. That's when I really dug back. Like he tore that verse.
Yeah, no, he did.
Tore that verse.
He got that.
So I went back and listened to some of his old stuff. I was like, all right, this is cool. But I don't think I've ever listened to like an Eminem album. One, just because like I'm not gonna lie, like to get me to listen to a white rapper, like but like I respect at the very least like what he represents and like what he did in
the
But yo, I'm not gonna lie, the entire second half of his career was ass.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear Eminem in nobody's top 10. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Don't bring up his sales, all right, because he has a very unfair advantage. Because he looks like all the consumers. It doesn't count. It literally does not count. So I think that Eminem is a legend. But he should stay off the microphone.
Yeah.
Not that anybody's asking me, but
yeah,
I don't think I can out-rap Eminem.
You can out-rap Eminem?
I don't think I can. I can out-rap Baby, but Eminem.
Oh, I was about to flame you. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Like he has a legitimate lyrical prowess, but I just think that he went way too left with it. Where he's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna just triple down on this fast flow and saying the most insane shit for the sake of a rhyme or a punchline or an entendre. Like at the end of the day, I think the thing with rap, and like I love like rapidy rap. Like I ain't gonna lie, like I love Lupe Fiasco. Like I love rapidy rap, but you need to actually be saying something. Like you can't just all right. This is a clever thing to say, but it doesn't actually mean anything. So you're going to say something and it means this, this, and this, but none of those 3 things that it actually means really means anything at all. Like it's wordplay for the sake of wordplay, but if the wordplay doesn't mean anything outside of that, then it's like, I don't think it's that good. And I think that's what Eminem falls victim to a lot. I think the last time There was a Tech Nine. He had his little run of popularity in like the early 2010s from
Tech Nine. That's
yeah.
a name.
If you were a rap nerd like in the early 2010s, like you was listening to some
Him,
Tech
fucking
Nine.
Royce the 5'9".
Nah, Royce is nice. I ain't gonna lie.
He is,
Royce is
but
a bad motherfucker.
my introduction to Royce was actually through Eminem. So
Bad Meets Evil.
Yeah.
Life in the Fast Lane.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Fast Lane,
I like
yeah.
that song. I like that
Yeah,
song back in
that
the
is
day.
a good-
But
that
it's
is a
like
good
I'll listen
song.
to it now. I'm just like, shit sucks. What the fuck is this? So I think there's just a lot of shit that's happening in the hip hop space where it's just like I don't think hip hop is dead, but I think hip hop has a very serious problem, and I think it's peaked. I think hip hop is definitely peaked.
So now I have a question for you then. Is hip hop confined to just either A, America, or B, English? Because there's
Yes,
rappers that are very heavily influenced, or like other Hispanic or Indian or wherever, that are influenced by what was going on in the U.S. Is that still considered hip hop, or is it considered like growing up? We used to call it strap, Spanish trap. Like
Yeah.
that's just what we called it.
yeah.
But like,
Is
that
it
hip
hip hop? No, I don't think so. I think that hip hop is a uniquely American export. I think that's like if I were to do K-pop, like
okay.
it's like yeah. Well, actually, that would just be weird.
I was about to say because like the thing with K-pop is that it's Korean pop,
Right.
so it's like
Yeah. So if
pop
you're not-
already exists.
Right. Yeah, but Korean pop itself is not just pop music done by Koreans. It has a specific sound. So I feel like with hip hop, I think you cannot divorce hip hop from its cultural roots, and I think that's the point. So I think it is when I think part of hip hop's legacy is the fact that you're going to have all of these international artists and genres that have influence from it, but I don't think you're going to say those things are hip hop. And I think that is ultimately what we're about to see. We're gonna see Afrobeats popping off, and you're gonna see some of these Afrobeats artists rapping. It's not hip hop.
Yeah.
Right? You're gonna see some of these Hispanic artists, right, doing something that comes from their home country, and it's has rap in it, but it's not quite hip hop.
Like we have our own genres, like we have reggaeton,
Right.
But then like if you're rapping over a beat, it's not necessarily reggaeton,
Right.
Even though it might sound like it, it's not. Like there's a specific sound and like cadence and melody and flow for reggaeton. Same thing for like other like for dembow and all the
Right.
other Spanish dance songs. It's like for example like bachata, merengue, and salsa, right? Like that's a big thing that everyone dances in the Hispanic community in the Northeast. Just by listening to it, you dance to them differently, but like just by listening to it, you
hear
can
the
distinguish
difference.
the difference, right? So it's like in that case, where do they fall, right? Like where does
I mean, I think genres are a tough thing to define. They're fluid, right?
so is MF Doom hip hop,
yes.
even though he's from the UK?
Yes. I think there is a participation in the broader culture. Well, this is why I say it's hard to find because you can't draw a clear line anywhere, right? You can't say if you're not from America, you're not hip hop. That just will never work. It won't work, right? So if someone comes over here, like 21 Savage is technically not from America, right? But he is influenced. Like he came over here and grew up in the music from Atlanta. But I think ultimately at the end of the day, culture is a tough thing to define. You can't put borders around culture. So I think that is going to be the legacy of hip hop moving forward is its influence on other genres. But you're gonna just you start thinking about like the core of hip hop where hip hop started and like Bad Bunny. They're different. Like
Yeah, but
different.
Bad Bunny is not considered.
No, right. But Bad Bunny will rap though. Like he'll rap, he'll do it. But it's like you also got pop stars who will rap. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's why I think hip hop, rap, like defining these things is hard because it's like, okay, if you're rapping, does that make it hip hop? Snoop Dogg was rapping on California Girls. All right, that was not a hip hop song. So I think there's a sonic thing happening, but it's also like where hip hop is sonically right now is very different than where hip hop was sonically 10 years ago, 20 years before that.
Or when it started.
So I think there's a reckoning that hip hop will reach, and I think it'll happen before the end of the decade, where people are just like, "Yo, what the fuck is happening?" And people might just abandon it. Right? There's so much other. Africa's popping right now. Africa popping. Right? Latin America's popping right now. So there's going to be a point where the music industry says, "We don't need you anymore. We don't need you. We have another cash cow," and then at that point, I think we will start to redefine what hip hop is because, like, ultimately, when the industry is in control of your genre, it's harder to define it for yourself. I think once the industry either doesn't care about you prior to, like, either you're not like
Mhm.
popping enough for the industry to care about you, or they've done what they need to do with you, then you're able to start redefining it again. So I think hip hop will go through it's like, oh my god, nobody's listening to hip hop anymore, da, 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 whatever, and then it'll kind of fall into its lane as we move forward. But I think that there's gonna be some turmoil, and we're gonna start looking like, dang, hip hop fell the fuck off, and it's already happening in my opinion. But
You're just getting old, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
no, I am an old head. I've been an old head since I was like fucking 6, so it's like I already knew this was happening. But I'm sitting here listening to some of the shit niggas be listening to. I'm saying, yo, what the fuck is going on? But you know what?
I think a lot of it is just people being dramatic. Personally, I feel like every.
You couldn't name a star that came out after 2017. You couldn't
Yeah,
do it.
but
You
that
couldn't
that
do
doesn't
it.
mean that it's dead.
That is 7 years.
That doesn't mean it's dead. I
It's
just
not
feel like
dead, but it's got a problem. Hip hop
it's definitely got a.
It's got a real problem.
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, then that goes on to another discussion that we could. I don't know how much time we got.
Now we
left.
gotta table this. This is gonna be a long ass
Nah,
episode.
facts. But I don't know. I feel like we're gonna be straight. I feel like this is a conversation that we have every 5 years, where like is hip hop dying, and then another new revolutionizing project comes out, and then it lasts another 5 years. I think we'll be all right.
We're gonna see. I'm interested. I'm not personally invested one way or the other. Like I don't give a fuck. But it's just like on an ideological level, like I do think hip hop is a serious issue as far as like, yo, anybody's doing this shit. Like Tyler said some shit about that dude Ian or whatever. I don't know. I ain't never listened to one of his songs. Well, actually, I
The
listened.
white boy cosplaying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yo, people come in here, they hear a sound, they say, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it for the bag, and then they did. Like, you look at Post Malone, the interview where he's like, "Yo,"
But it's not just white artists.
No, you're right. No. It's definitely not
Some
just
of the
white-
biggest rap artists.
No. Like I said, I cannot stand the fact that like people are like, "Yo, Lil Baby's the hardest." That nigga cannot like. He's not that good. All right, he's just not that good. But you have people. You have people who look at this thing, this cultural export that is hip hop, and they say, "I can do something for myself with this." And the contribution to the culture is an afterthought if it's a thought at all. And while that's well and good, like, you know, you got to do for yourself. That's how culture disintegrates. And so right now we're sitting in like, I think we're in the middle ground right now. I don't think hip hop's actually dead. It's not in the fucking coffin. It's not 6 feet under. It's not, you know, like buried. But I do think like there's shit that needs to happen for the culture to continue in a way that's meaningful and that affects or I guess reaches as many people as possible. Right now it's looking like hip hop peaked and it's on its way down and it's gonna land somewhere fine. Like it's not like it's gonna be like, oh, like nobody listens to hip hop anymore. But it's going to land somewhere that's lower than it has been. And I think that's where people are like, why is this happening? And I think it's for a number of reasons. I think it's because the access to creating music. I think it's because the labels don't prioritize artist development. I think it's because listeners don't give a fuck. It's for a number of reasons, but at the end of the day, I do think the quality of the art is suffering because of it. And I just personally don't want to see that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm just an old head who's 25. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't...
They'll be old.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm a still listen to my old head tunes. And I got beef with R&B artists too, but that's a conversation for another day.
Relax.
That's a conversation for another day.
Relax.
That's a conversation for another day.
We're not going to talk about R&B artists.
No, we literally don't have time because we're recording for like an hour and 15 minutes. So with that being said, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap?
Chill on the R&B artists. You a old head.
True.
Hip hop is not dead. We're going to be all right. And like last time, listen to College Dropout.
College Dropout, y'all. Julian, where can people connect with you on the internet?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. J period Figueroa Figueroa. It's a Puerto Rican name. 01, I believe. Body.
I know where to find me at. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, _Trev Woods. Damn,
the liquor is liquor.
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, _Trev Woods. The podcast is on Instagram and TikTok at the Global Renaissance Pod. We're on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. We're on audio platforms. Leave a review. This has been another episode of the Global Renaissance Podcast. We'll catch you on the next one.